My first guest on the program today, as I said, is a man who is well known to us, Glen Shorrock. He arrived in Adelaide from England back in the mid-1950s, a self-confessed child of rock and roll he was. 1962, he began singing with a vocal group called the Twilights. I had a chance to interview those guys back about 1966 from memory. Then fast forward to 1965, the group became a six-piece beat group based in Melbourne, scoring hits with, and you'll know these, Needle in a Haystack, Bad Boy, If She Finds Out. The band won the 1966 Hoadley's National Battle of the Sounds, and that's when I interviewed them, resulting in an opportunity to record at the Abbey Road studios, and that one-night session produced three great hits. The band broke up in 1969, but it had inevitably opened the door for my next guest, Glen Shorrock, and he's on the line right now. Glen, welcome into Casey Radio.
Hi, Lee. How you doing?
Well, thanks, Bill. Nice to have you with us today.
Yeah, it looks like a very busy schedule you've got coming up, mate.
Well, we've got a great program, I hope, today. And, we do that every Friday, Glen. It's got a great response. And, of course, we talk showbiz, people like yourself and actors and so on around. And the audience gravitates to it, and we tell them what's on, which is what we're doing with you too now. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's great. Yes,
thanks, Bill. Let's talk.
I'm calling you from Canberra at the moment.
Oh, you're up there where the trouble was last night, eh?
Yes, I know. I tried to put a boat in, but...
I think our Prime Minister might have appreciated that last night.
He needed a few more, I thought.
I think he does, yeah. Look, I don't know what you think about politics, but with one vote... nor do I. With one vote, I don't know how they're going to manage all of this, mate. I really, really don't. It just showed last night what can happen.
That's right. We never know what's going to happen, do we?
No. Glen, my memory goes back to 1966 with you guys with the Twilights, and you're up in Goulburn in New South Wales, if you recall the day, and you called into the studio up there, and it's with the Hoadley's Battle of the Sounds, and I interviewed you guys. And one of my first radio interviews I ever did.
Oh, well, we're still doing it, aren't we?
Yeah, we are indeed. We're still alive. We're still doing it. I'm turning 70 next month.
I do remember that interview.
Yes. I remember it was my very, very first. But,
well, you would do, yes,
yeah,
of course.
Here we are doing it all over again.
Time has moved on from that time, Lee, obviously. This is my 52nd year in the business, I think, and still going strong.
Well, I said in the intro there, Glen, that you came out from England, of course, and settled in Adelaide initially, and at the age of 10 you saw yourself as being a great rock and roll star even then, didn't you?
Well, yeah, by the time 12, I was 12, I was hooked on rock and roll, 1956, and Elvis was up on my wall and all those early rock and roll stuff, and that's what I'm concentrating on with this show, the history of rock and roll, Part 1. Start with those years and move on through all the artists and songs that have influenced me over the years. That's what the show is all about.
Glen, you mentioned there Elvis Presley. Was he a big part in your life? Was he a big influence?
Well, he was the first, wasn't he? He was the first teenage idol, and he just captured my imagination. And we start off with a couple of Elvis songs and move on through. I've called it Part 1 because, how can you do the whole history of rock and roll in one night?
I was saying that earlier to someone today, but you're on history Part 1, Part 2 obviously will come up too, and you've got Elvis, Buddy Holly, the Kinks, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, Van Morrison, many others too.
And my stuff comes in between all that. As chronologically as it does happen. Yeah. The Twilights and also Axiom, and quite a large lump of LRB, and it's a good long show and interval in the middle. Yeah. And we enjoy it. It's terrific. So we've got a big band, a 10-piece band behind me, and
you got the brass up there too, haven't you?
Yes, a couple of brass people and. A couple of backup singers as well, all from Sydney.
I can remember the days as a DJ, we used to call ourselves in those days, but playing Axiom songs, Little Ray of Sunshine, Arkansas Grass, and we had records in those days, not CDs, and we used to have fun with those as a DJ, and great times. But, I lived through that era with you guys, and as a DJ and you performing those, wonderful, wonderful times. Have you got a favourite song?
Of mine? Or
any that you perform with LRB or with Axiom. What's one that really stands out for you?
Well, there's a couple, really. Cool Change is one, Help Is On Its Way. Yeah. Little Ray of Sunshine, of course, going back a bit. That was a big song for myself and Brian. And, there's lots of them. I have a good body of work to draw from, which is one of the strengths of my career, really. I've been lucky enough to have hits all over the place and just about every decade. And I have a new album coming out, actually, next week on the 9th of September, so we'll see how that goes.
And what's that called?
That's called Rise Again.
Rise Again. Look forward to that.
And it's my first original album in a long while.
Congratulations, pal. Yeah.
Thank you, yeah. I'm looking forward to having people having a listen and see what happens in this digital age, all the downloading and everything that goes on.
It'll be on iTunes too, will it?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And J&B Hi-Fi and all reputable dealers and some not so reputable.
I got it. Glen, what was it like for Little River Band cracking the United States market there in 1976? Must have been a thrill to you.
Yeah, that was a very, I call it the purple patch of my career, really. It seems a long time ago now. 1976.
40 years back.
We did our first tour of the States and on the strength of It's a Long Way There, which was our first single, and we managed to spend a good 8 years on the road over there and had 8 top 20 hits and 4 or 5 top 10 hits, Reminiscing and Help Is On Its Way. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, so some 25 million albums have been sold, I was reading the other day, and that's just huge.
Probably a bit more.
A bit more now. Yeah, just huge, isn't it? Just huge. Even if you make $1 out of each one of those, there's a few bucks going in your pocket there, isn't it? Well, not your pocket, but everyone's pockets. But it's a wonderful thing to do. Look,
we share it out.
I hope you do. Look, I'll give you my address after too, if you like. The bank account details. Listen, Glen, not only are you a great singer, you're also a stagehand too. Evita, you've been in Evita, you started in there. The Rocky Horror Show, who could figure that when you appeared there? The Arena Spectaculars, of course, of Greece. What one of your stage productions really stand out for you?
I enjoyed the last one I did with Shout. I played Johnny O'Keefe's father.
That was good. Yes, I remember that. Saw that.
That was an interesting one for me. One stage of my career, I would have been playing with Johnny O'Keefe.
Yes.
Now the years have gone by, so I now play people's fathers. So I've done a few theatre situations along my career, but my singing is what I'm most known for, and I'll continue to do that, and maybe I'll get offered a part in something else. I hope so.
But Glen, I suppose it's good to be able to diversify there. When the singing's not there or the gigs aren't there, you then got the stage presentations and all that happens. What about television? Any TV work coming up?
No, nothing that I've got.
We should get that history of rock and roll to television then for you.
Well, there's not much live music, Australian live music on television.
No, it's a shame. Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame. So, I guess the only way I can get on television these days would be to promote the record. So we'll see what happens.
Well, you never know. You might be able to take this show, The History of Rock and Roll, to a TV station and get that produced and put onto TV. You never know.
You never know.
Because we really do lack good quality these days. I miss the variety days, Glen, when we gave people the opportunity of coming on IMT and shows such as that, Don Lane, whatever it happened to be, and performing there and letting people see them. And they got lots of great starts. Young Talent Time and all those sorts of shows. We miss those today.
Yes, we do. But, it's a different era now, mate. It's all reality television now, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I know.
Not much live television on a musical situation or a variety one that you talk about. I'm sure one day someone will bring something back and maybe it'll catch on again. Who knows?
Reality.
There's so much. There's so much entertainment around us these days everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. We've got a small population too. When you think about it, 24 million. Yeah, not a lot of people to back us all up, yeah. So your show is called The History of Rock and Roll. Now, you're coming to the Palms at Crown, a great venue, on Friday the 16th of September. Tickets can be booked through Ticketmaster or calling 136-100, so online at Ticketmaster or 136-100. And you're down at Geelong 2 on the Saturday, the 17th of September. We must mention that because this program gets all the way around. So keep those in mind. And also Shoalhaven Entertainment Centre on Friday the 30th of September. Gee, you're a busy man, aren't you?
Yeah, we've got more coming up as well, through Christmas time as well. Yeah. And into next year. So,
good on you.
Life goes on.
Are you coming down here to the Cardinia Cultural Centre at all?
To where?
The Cardinia Cultural Centre in Pakenham?
No, I'm not sure. I haven't heard that one.
All right. We must mention that to the manager for you down there and try and get you down this way.
Absolutely.
That'll be really good. All right, listeners, that's the Palms at Crown for Friday the 16th of September, the 17th down in Geelong at the Costa Hall, and a little further north, the Shoalhaven Entertainment Centre on Friday the 30th of September. Mate, good to talk to you. Always nice to catch up, and wish you well for the show. I know it'll go well for you, and I just say we'll catch up on the night.
Thank you, Leigh. Yeah,
Take care, pal.
Come along. A splendid time is guaranteed for all, as someone once said.
My special guest, Glen Shorrock.
I don't care who is right or wrong. You've got my name